Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video I am going to show you three different styles that you can do with books. So they're going to be super fun. I'm going to show you one of the things that I did was a project that I did last spring. I'll tell you about that. I'll show it to you. Then we're going to use some brown craft paper, just like in the good old days when we used to wrap our school books using the brown paper grocery bags, but with a little something extra. And then I'm going to show you what you can do with this canvas duck fabric. So I have lots of good things to show you. Everything's super simple, super affordable, and really fun. So as you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. Feel free to sprinkle. Well, hey Mary, thank you so much for the stars. All right, so last year I did this fun project with some books from the Dollar Tree where I essentially, this one I didn't paint the spine, but I used the white little puppy paw print stencil and some white chalk paste. And then I attached a little clippy-do, and let me see, do I have any photos in here at all? I don't think I do. But anyways, this was meant to be a photo holder, so you can set it on your bookshelf like this and put your little photo right there. Let me see, what can I, let's just use a little. So that was one that I did. This one was on a gray hardcover book, and I used a stencil that we're going to use today. It's called Wood Grain, and I used black chalk paste. Same idea with the little clippy-do and a bow, but I also glued a pretty button on this one. And and you could do the very same thing, turn it into like a photo frame almost. And then this one right here is the same idea, except the book was black, and I did paint the spine of it so that you couldn't see whatever this book title was. And I used some gray chalk paste with that wood grain stencil, which is awesome. Attached one of these little clippy-doos, hot glued on a button, and put a little bow on it, and that works as a great photo frame. So I will get pictures of these when I'm all finished. I'll see if I can dig out some actual family photos or something to put in them. But that's the first idea that I want to share with you. The second idea I want to share is how you can cover your books with this canvas duck fabric. If you can even believe it, about 10 days ago, I bought 3 yards of canvas duck fabric at my local Joann's, and this is all I have left. I really just love crafting on canvas duck. So it's just in the fabric department at Joann's. It's just called Fabric Duck. It's pretty heavy. You do not wash it before you use it. Unlike painter's drop cloth, which you could substitute for this, you're not going to wash this beforehand. So let me show you a couple things here, and we'll actually do some assembling and talk about some different things. All right, you can pick up either soft or hard cover books anywhere. Maybe your library is having a 25-cent sale for books that aren't getting checked out anymore. Maybe you have a library of books that you've already read. Maybe you have an opportunity to go to some garage sales this summer or thrift stores. You can pick up books for almost nothing. And these projects are going to make great little sit-abouts for your shelves, for on a coffee table, on a buffet, something like that. And it absolutely does not matter what the book is, okay? So what I did before I came live was I used this adorable stencil, which is called Retro Flower. And obviously I've used it a lot because mine looks like heck. It's a great stencil though. And I used some of this Magnolia ink in Magnolia green, which this is a great green, and it's gonna go, I think, pretty well with some of the colors. This is my inspiration for the colors in my house. And I think from a distance, I'll be able to pull this in and set it on the coffee table or something. This was part of some curtains. Okay, so I stenciled this piece of canvas duck using my Magnolia green ink, and I let it dry. And then, just to be completely safe about everything, I used a hot iron to heat set it, and also to kind of figure out how I was going to want this to fold. All right, so now what we're going to do is the gluing part, and that is the fun part. All right, so I am just going to start with the inside cover, and I'll show you in just a minute how you figure out all your dimensions and where to get started. Okay, so I have already figured out my dimensions, and I have some of these little clip thingies from Dollar Tree that are so handy. If you ever see these at your local Dollar Tree, grab a couple of packages, because I use them for craft projects all the time, and they're just great. Okay, so I'm just gonna clip my little thing on here, and this will look adorable on top of a stack of books. Tomorrow we're gonna finish all of this off with some pretty little enhancements to our books. But, okay, so you have two options. You could use a piece of tape to attach this to your book if you didn't want it to be permanent. But I want this to be permanent. So I'm just gonna use a little bead of low temperature hot glue, and I'm essentially just gonna put it along the edge of my book. Put that in there and press it into the glue. And there's one side, and I did fray the edges on the top and the bottom because I thought that would be cute. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little dollop of glue right along the spine to the back side, okay? Just to hold everything together, so it doesn't feel like this is about to fall off all the time. And I opted to do it on the back so that there wouldn't be a lump on the spine. All right, and now let's do the inside page, the back inside page. So tomorrow we'll finish our little book stacks off. Oops, I did not do a good job with that. Okay, let me see. This needs to go in more, or this needs to be unhooked here, because I'm getting a little bit of a lump. Sorry. Okay. Now I will just pop in a couple of drops to make it lay flat. I didn't glue it straight. Let's just do one or two little ones here. And da-da-da, we'll do something real cute to it later, tomorrow actually. So again, this is canvas duck fabric. You can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Joann's, you can get it at Hobby Lobby, at pretty much any fabric store. It's usually around, I don't know, $6 or $7 a yard. And it's just super versatile. I make a ton of things with it. Lately I've been doing a lot of stuffing things. So all I did was I used my retro pattern stencil and a little bit of this Magnolia green, which is an awesome color, ink. And I stenciled this piece of canvas duck. And then I heat set it, and then we just glued it on. So there's our first book. Okay, let's make another one, but let's do it a little bit different this time. Okay, so on this one, I decided to just do kind of the area that would be the spine on my canvas duck fabric, because I know that this is going to be in the middle of the stack. So it really doesn't matter what the front looks like. And I don't know where this book came from, but it does actually sound interesting. Gospel, recovering the power that made Christianity revolutionary. Yeah, so I'm not ruining the book. I'm just going to be gluing this onto it. And we need to figure out if our thing is going to be too big, and I suspect that it is. So let's get a ruler and a pen. Let me mark off where to cut it. It's better to have it be a little bit too big than too small. I'm just going to use a pencil to trace it. So what's everyone doing today? I have not made books in so long. I do have a whole box of books that I've crafted with here in my hall closet, and I was looking at them to kind of get some ideas of new things that I haven't already done multiple times, and that's when I remembered about these books that we had done last spring. So I have, to my knowledge, I have not done this version of a covered book before. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to just glue it onto the inside cover here. Get some more glue. I want that to be relatively straight. And we're using my Surebonder low temperature hot glue gun, so I'm not risking any burns. This thing is great. You can pick these up everywhere, but this one either came from Walmart or from Hobby Lobby. I can't remember because this is my second one that I've had. And it was under $10. And I feel like these things run even a little bit lower than a regular low temperature hot glue gun. I really do. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple little blobs here just to get this to lay nice and flat. This is going to be so cute. So stay with me. Now we're going to do the inside of this. Just folding this over. These middle books don't have to be perfect, and you also don't have to stencil the whole entire thing, because it's going to just be plunked basically in between two other books. And if I want to read this, I have not done anything to ruin the book itself, which I might want to read this at some point. Sounds interesting. So here's where we're going. Look how cute that's going to be. Okay, let's do one more like this. And I opted on this one to stencil it before I came live also, because you guys, if you've watched DIY Dreaming for any amount of time, you've seen me stencil, and there's nothing really magic to it. I did forget to tell you that this one I did using this part of this. It's called a, I think it's called a, oh shoot, it's a pattern, and it has 3 different styles on it. Art Deco or something like that. So I used that to create the stripes for this one. And then for this one, I used my just about favorite Magnolia stencil, which is this. It's the Victorian pattern stencil. Oh my word, we did so many things with this spring. We made bunnies, we made carrots, we made stuffed hearts. I did a lot of orange stuff and you can see that. My stencil's looking pretty rough, but it still works just fine. So just so you know, these stencils are reusable many times, as long as you clean them promptly and then put them back on the backing sheet on the correct side. And yeah, they're great. Okay, so what I wanted to show you with this one was that we need to figure out what size to make it. And I want this book to have the torn edge like the other one did. So I'm basically just going to eyeball it, and you cut a little snip and you just tear. Pull your strings out. We'll look to see how that looks. I can continue pulling more strings out if, oh my word, I'm covered in strings now. I think that's going to be absolutely perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the exact same thing as what we've done before. I want to make sure that I leave enough room on both sides to get this folded over. And I think I've got it right there. I'm going to just put a clip on this. Okay. We're going to put a little, oops, little blob of glue right here. And this is not ruining this book either, in case you're wondering. It's still totally readable. The only thing is that it will have a super cute cover on it. That's a funky magnolia green color. Okay, and let's do a couple little blobs. That seems to help with this being stable on these. So what do you guys think? Oh, I haven't dropped any pins yet. Let me do that. Let's see, where am I? Okay, let's see if I still have this saved. Okay, give me 1 second and I'll grab my links, because I want you to be able to go look if you want to. And this has the list of everything from the kind of fabric that we used to hot glue to the craft paper, and it tells you where you can get everything. Okay, just gonna see if I can pin this. Okay, oh no, I pinned the wrong comment. Sorry you guys, thank you for your patience. Okay, now I got it. All right, so let's go over to the other side of this and finish this puppy off. I'm gonna pull this nice and tight, but make sure that I can still close my book just fine. Oh no. I just glued 2 pages together. Whoopsie. Okay. And here we go. I'll trim up some of these little loose strings here, but let me show you this stack now. And I think this is really cute. You could do this exact same idea. I know this magnolia green is not going to go in everybody's room. And maybe not everybody loves this funky color green, but I do. But this same exact concept could be used to create a book stack using black and white. And you can use, there's a ton of different stencils that you could use. Oh my gosh, This is gonna be so adorable. Look at that. Is that cute or what? So I chose for this project something with a all over pattern. Then I chose something that would kind of slow your eyes down a little bit with stripes. And then I chose another pattern. I probably wouldn't, I mean, I don't know, you can do it however you like. That's pretty cute too. But I would probably do it with the stripes in the middle. And then we'll figure out something adorable to hold this whole stack together. What do you guys think? Is that cute, 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 or what? And assuming I paid $1 for each one of those books, and I have just a teeny bit of fabric, a teeny bit of ink, 1 or 2 uses of my stencils, I mean, this probably cost me around $4 at the very most. And if you were gonna buy something custom like this, it would be at least, I don't know, at least $40. And it would probably not be very custom. It would probably be very generic, just like what everyone has. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to use some brown craft paper. This is the paper that is intended to be used to wrap your packages when you're mailing something. But this is also great wrapping paper for presents, and you can decorate it however you like. So it's like a blank canvas, and that's what I really love about it. It also reminds me of those giant paper bags that we used to cover our school books with at the start of every year. Okay, so I want to know who else is my age or a little younger or a little older that remembers that. If you remember getting your school books in elementary, middle, or high school and coming home and getting all those grocery bags, those paper grocery bags out and taping the cover on your books to protect them, say I remember in the comments. Let's see how many people actually remember doing that. I know the younger people are going to be asking, what in the world is she even talking about? Linda says she remembers. Let's see who else says they remembers. Katrina remembers. Yeah, there's a lot of you guys. Julie does too. Okay, so we're gonna just elevate that a little bit. We're not using the grocery store paper bags. We're using some craft paper. And basically what I did is I laid it out here on my table, and I took my book and I just laid it on the paper to measure how wide. And then I wanted to give myself a generous allowance for where the book is going to fold. Okay, so then I just cut it out. And if you're using paper like that, sometimes you can get this kind of paper in sheets. But if you're using it from a roll like this, it's gonna wanna curl right back up. And I don't know if you knew this, but you can just use an iron on cotton, no steam, and iron it, and it will essentially lay flat, which is much, much, much easier to work with when you do that. Okay, so we're gonna decorate this. I have 2 covers already in the works that I'll show you in just a minute, and I need to remember what I'm doing. I think I want this to have some kind of a design in the area of the spine. And I think, let me look at my books. Yeah, we're gonna do it as the bottom book, okay? So we're working on this black one. So, after I cut it out and I ironed it, then we're gonna stencil. And I'm doing this stack of books with a more neutral palette. It's gonna be this brown craft paper color with some white chalk paste. And then when everything's all completely dry, I will hit it with a quick spray of this clear matte sealer just to make it so that I wouldn't accidentally smudge them or anything. Okay, I think I want to do a small area using this awesome stencil, which I love so much. This is the Victorian stencil. This is the one that I'm going to show you in just a minute. This is called Ornamental Pattern, and it's beautiful too. I just used it today twice for the first time, and it's really a great stencil. But we're going to use this. And we're just going to do the general vicinity where the spine will be, because it's going to be a bottom book. So I am just gonna, now if this was a new stencil or newer like this one, I would fuzz it on a fuzzing towel like this, or on a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, something like that, before I used it. But this has been used at least 30 times. So it's not going to be a problem if I don't fuzz it. And we're using white chalk paste, but there's oodles of different colors of chalk paste. There's oodles of different colors of ink also. So choose what you like. And I'm just going to take a couple of dabs, and we're going to go over the area that would roughly be, you could do the whole entire thing if you wanted. We'll see how this looks, if this looks completely weird or not. But it's going to cover the spine, basically, is what I'm going for. And when I'm doing book stacks, I don't know if you guys have done them before, I like to have the thickness of my books vary a little bit, and also how tall they are. But other than that, you can mix soft cover with hard cover, and it for sure doesn't matter what the book is about. Okay, so this is what I've got right here. And that looks just fine. So when this is dry, let me throw this in my little tub of water over here. Poke it under the water. When this is dry, assuming it dries before we're all finished here, we'll attach it to this book, and we will, I'll show you the whole book stack, so hopefully this will be dry in a few minutes. Okay, so before I came live, I did 2 of them, just to give us a head start so I could show you the next step. Okay, this one has that ornamental pattern, this awesome stencil, covering what will be the front and the binding part. Okay, and I'll show you this one in just a second, but let's put it on. Let me try to remember which book I had this for. I think it was this one. No, it's the red one. Okay, so we're going to do the exact, and I did not do the back of it because there's no point to do that. Okay, so we're going to figure out how we want this to fold, and I'm going to do the same thing as I've done before. Where's my glue? I'm just going to put some hot glue on here. Okay. Oopsie. A little bit crooked. Hold it a little bit tighter. This is going to be our top book, so I do want it to look nice. Okay. What do you guys think about these ideas? This one in particular costs almost nothing. I think that whole roll of brown craft paper, I think I picked it up at Dollar Tree, and so it was $1. So the however much I've used for this project here is probably about 3 cents worth. And look how pretty it is. It's gonna look really pretty on the top of our stack. Okay, and like I said, I will spray it so that you can handle it, and that's not a problem. All right, and then this one, I did just the spine, and it's gonna be the middle book. And I decided to just play around and try using some of this frog tape. You could use blue painter's tape too. So I taped it out, and then I laid my stencil over the top, which is this one. It's called Wood Grain. It's really cool. This is a super cool stencil. This is the one that I used on these books also. And I used the white chalk paste, and this is what I ended up with. It looks nice and crisp, which is the book. I think it's this one. And let's put this puppy on. I'm just going to do a couple little beads because I want possibly to be able to do something else with this book. It has such a pretty inside. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? What is this book? Mayflower. And so that must be like the Mayflower's journey. Okay. Okay, and here is our middle book, which you could do a design right here if you wanted and have this be the top book. It would be pretty. So I really just wanted to give you this idea of doing just the binding part, or whatever you call the end of the books, and having a crisp line by using either blue tape or frog tape or some masking tape or something like that. Okay, so let's see. Is our, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Let's see, is this at all dry? Ooh, I don't think it's quite ready. Let me get my little hot heat gun out, and let's see if we can dry it real quick so we can finish the stack while you're here. And put it all together, and you'll see how cool it's going to be. Oopsie. Sorry about the noise. Okay, let's call that dry enough. Should we? Let me get my glue gun back up here. And this is the book that is going to go in here. I haven't creased any of the pages or anything yet for this one, so let's just see how this is going to work. That's basically what that's going to look like, but it's not going to be the top book, it's going to be the bottom book. So I think that's good. Let me just put a little glue on here. Here. All right, and here's this book. And let me get my little stack out and show you how it turned out. Seriously cute, I think. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that is so cute, you guys, look. I feel like if you saw this at a home decor store, that it would be at least $40 to pick up something like this. And it is just absolutely adorable. So now I need to figure out how I want to, if I want to just do something like this, some twine a few times around it. Let's try that. No, it's not gonna fit. I'm gonna have to fiddle with that later. I don't want to mess up my books. But this is the finished set. They look cute even sitting on a bookshelf like this, but I love them more as a stack. And here's the other one that we did with the, we used the canvas stack fabric for this stack. And here are a couple of these guys. These photo frames. And so I hope I gave you some good ideas. And I think what really adds the charm to it is varying the different patterns. So I did a busy one on top, something more subdued in the center, and then another busy one on the bottom. I also like these, they're sort of monochromatic because these are all green with this cream color. And this is all this tan with white. And super affordable. Basically, all you need to make a project like this is some books, hard or soft cover, and you're not going to ruin them. So you can, you know, get some books off your own shelf if you want. You're going to need some canvas stack fabric and some brown craft paper. I do believe I picked this up at the Dollar Tree, so it was $1. And then you're going to need a variety of stencils. And on these projects, I used, this is the wood grain. And look, it's got like, it's even got like little knots and stuff in it, which I think is really cool. So that was this one in the center I did with this. And then this book project, this photo frame was done with that. Here's a really fun one that I have just barely started using. It can go this way or this way. I think it kind of reminds me of hearts. But this is called Ornamental Pattern. And I did pin a link and it says book projects with a bunch of different hearts. So you can take a peek there. And then you could use this one, which is the retro flower, which I used here. And it is an adorable all over pattern. Or you could use part of I can't think of what the stencil set is called. Deco or Art Deco or something like that. It has 3 different pieces to it. And this is just the stripes. And then my Victoria pattern stencil is soaking over here in a tub. So, but I want to encourage you to, if you think you want to give this a try, look through the stencils, because these are just a few of the different patterns that they have. The polka dots would be adorable. There's a leopard or cheetah one. There's some checks. Oh my gosh, there's so many different things. You could use the one that's love, 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 love. It's an all over big square one. You could use the Mandela lace. That would be pretty. So there's a lot of different options. And I did pin a link right down here if you want to go look. And then you're going to need, for the paper ones, I used chalk paste. And for the fabric ones, I used ink. And by the way, they have almost all they have all the colors of ink in stock, and I think almost all of the colors of chalk paste in stock at Magnolia right now as well. Okay, and then the one final thing is I will take my clear matte sealer and I will take these books outside and I'll spray them all. This design is not going to fall off, but if it gets moved around the house, I don't want you to end up smudging it. So I will definitely use that on the paper ones, and these I heat set with a hot iron, so they are good to go. All right, let me clean up my little space here just a bit in case you want to take a screenshot. I'm going to hop off here in just a couple minutes and see what kind of questions you guys might have. Let me know if you do this project. I would really, really, really love to see pictures of what you do. You can post those here in these comments or over at Dreamy DIY, which is that Facebook group that I set up. It's free for all of us to share our craft project photos. So I would love to see what you do. All right, if you want to see what I have coming up tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, do a this or a this, or say something in the comments. You can even say gobbledygook. It almost really doesn't even matter what you say. And check to make sure that you've liked and followed DIY Dreaming, and you should be good to go. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to let this run for just a minute or two, and then I will really say goodbye, and I'll get pictures of everything. Okie dokie. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Thank you for the stars, and thanks for all your sweet comments, the hearts, the thumbs, and all that fun jazz. And I'm gonna hop off now and see what you guys have to say about this. If you want to look at any of the stencils, ink, chalk paste, or anything else from Magnolia, that's the company's products that I used for these projects today. I did pin some links right down here at the very bottom. And it's like a red heart, a blue heart, a stack of books, a blue heart, a red heart, and then right below that is where the links are to my website. Okay, have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys later.